Out of the AMA Supercross Series. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman along with Dave Despain, and tonight we're going to crown another champion in this wonderful facility. The 125 East Coast Riders, it's their last race, and Ezra Lusk is but one step away from realizing a dream come true.
A small step if you consider that he only has to finish 11th to lock up the championship, but such a huge step when you think about all the things that can go wrong. Nobody has crashed out of more leads in 1994 than Ezra Lusk. I don't think that'll happen. I think he'll win.
It's like graduation day for Jimmy Button, his rival, as well as Ezra Lusk, because they step up to a new level next year.
Yeah, they graduate to the 250 class. That's where the big money and the big opportunity is. And, of course, for each of those guys, what they hope to do is repeat history and accomplish what Jeremy McGrath has accomplished, the two-time 125 champion who now dominates 250.
Our broadcasting compatriot, Jerry Bernardo, spent the entire week on the road with Team Honda and Jeremy's mechanic, Skip Norfolk.
Well, about 6 hours ago, we were still at the races, sending the last fans off, and now we're sending off ourselves. We're going to pack up and head to Dallas. See, this is where the co-pilot is supposed to help during all the unloading and loading procedures. Usually, never around, so I tried to get the help of Jerry, our ESPN2 Motor World host. And if you notice, he's just like him. They're not around, so that leaves me to do it all. Well, fortunately, this road trip, we've been able to bring back 4 first-place trophies. Pretty fortunate. Things have been going good this year.
Hey, Skip, what's up? Got here early to help you. But you're all set?
Yeah, we are. We're all set. We're ready to go.
Actually, what are you listen to, country?
Well, I'm sure you're going to want to sleep, so I cleared the sleeper out for you, so when you get in the truck,
No,
you're going to be able to go to sleep.
the whole way to you.
Oh, okay. Good.
I have things we have to talk about.
Good. Oh, this would be your side. And this is when it's going to be my co-pilot Jerry's big day to see how he does. Need to check the oil. He's in charge of oil, and he's also in charge of windshield cleaning. Racing's it's not something you do for a living, it's a lifestyle. And you live for racing, and racing's a part of your life. You've got to wake up every morning and want to make it better than it was the weekend before. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Remember the Alamo.
The eyes of Texas are upon you. As the Honda trucks suck petrol off in the distance. We are finally in Texas. I have sit still for 15 hours, not driving, skipping off all crazy.
We're unpacked. We're going to bed. See you guys tomorrow.
Welcome back to Texas Stadium. An outstanding crowd on hand as we take a look at this, what the riders have termed a cool track, but rough in the whoops.
You know, after a week on the road with Jerry Bernardo, I would think coming to a rough racetrack would be a great relief, Art. Nothing dramatically different about this layout, but the big, deep, wide-spaced hoops are going to be the treacherous part of the track.
There is room to pass as we now go to our highlights of heat number 1, the qualifying in the 250s. Swink, LaRocco, Mike Kudrowski, Lamson, Matasevich. It's Emig with the whole shot. Then going down, we've got Jason Upshaw.
And behind him, number 3, Mike Kudrowski, number 21, Jeff Matasevich. Kudrowski cannot buy a break on the starts in 1994. That's been his downfall since the very first race.
LaRocco probably feels lucky he got through the first turn the way his starts have been this year, as Emig, Lamson number 4, LaRocco number 7, and Swink running fast as they go into those whoops.
Of course, the top 4 go directly to the transfer spot, and there is the mess up on the part of number 4, Lamson, the first of several. He has a very eventful heat race here.
Swink puts the pressure on LaRocco up front.
Ryan Swink riding better, I think, than we've seen him all season. He was strong last week, won a heat race. Here comes Lamson back, retakes that position. He certainly has the speed. He certainly has the determination. He just doesn't quite have the rhythm and the timing, as we'll see.
This is a very difficult track, it proved, as far as timing is concerned. Lamson trailing Swink in heat number 1. Swink was getting a lot better rhythm.
Yeah, real determined, I think. That's the thing I noticed. There's the fall down for Lamson. Just slid the front end out and tipped her over. So what? That's the second time he's been off the racetrack or on the ground, and still in contention to get the transfer spot.
Emig number 6 out on top. No wins this year. LaRocco, a fine win in Charlotte, but a very difficult race in Anaheim. Kind of took him out of the points race, and Emig went down.
Boy, he tried to save it, though, didn't he? All right, we'll take another look and see how this happened. This is that rough section of the racetrack we talked about. He comes up short. See the front wheel hit the top of that jump. He wanted to get the front just over and glide it down the other side, but he was short by 6 inches, and the consequence is crashed out of the lead.
Highlights from the first qualifying heat as Emig tries to get back into that transfer spot. Todd DeHoop, number 26, right in front of him.
Desperation here for Emig. He's lost the opportunity to win it, but with the block pass and a little bit of contact, he still has the opportunity to get the direct transfer to the main event. So this is a salvage operation.
Behind a hoop, number 3, Mike Kudrowski, coming up from last in that first turn crash. He came pretty close to making the main event.
Meanwhile, LaRocco wins it, and Emig gets that transfer spot. Good performance for Emig, but I was impressed with Kudrowski's chart. He passed a lot of people. He's got a great deal of speed here tonight.
Kudrowski had the fastest blank in the race last week. LaRocco, Swink, Lamson go to the main event. Let's go to Jerry Bernardo now with our winner.
Mike, you were sitting in second behind you-know-who, and then he made a fatal mistake, and you jumped out front. Did you think it was going to happen, or what?
Well, actually, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was just going to go out there and, get used to the track, and we kind of sit down a while before, or after practice, before heat races. So I was just getting familiar, and, to my benefit, Jeff made a mistake.
Okay, the track looks like it's eating everybody up. Has it changed much throughout the course of the day?
I think just the more times we get out here, the slipperier it gets. So it just, you got to keep your eye open because it does change every lap.
Good job.
Thanks.
Qualifying heat number 2, featuring number 1, Jeremy McGrath. 2 straight wins on the season, 8 victories so far this year. Number 1 gets the whole shot, but number 19, Michael Craig, will take over first place away from Jeremy McGrath in the tough whoop section.
Jeremy not getting through there very well, was he, Art? And that is a big story. When McGrath has problems with a section of racetrack with his incredible timing, it's a tough section. But look at Craig.
Craig pulling out in front, but Jeremy McGrath will get close enough to pass him. And a good battle behind them with Stanton, Henry, and Ward, number 11.
Well, it's a formula for excitement in any form of motorsports. You have 3 guys going for 2 positions, so that's a lot of inspiration. Stanton is the man who seems to respond to that inspiration the best. He's going really fast here.
Ward looking good on the outside, but Henry will take the shortest distance.
Different lines available on this racetrack. Early in the season, we had a lot of complaints about one-line racetracks. The organizers have responded. They've changed some of their track designs, and lo and behold, look at the kind of passing action we get here.
McGrath taking advantage of the Craig bobble to move into first place, and he'll stay there the entire heat.
Jeremy's terrific at finding another line. Even on the racetracks which the riders accused of being one-line tracks, he was able to pass a lot of people. But it's tricky finding a different place to go. See how Henry moves over? Stanton's got one line. Henry goes looking for another one, crosses underneath him, takes the low line away, and makes the pass.
Stanton, with 3 second-place finishes this year, does not have a win on the board yet, is getting very aggressive, and his rhythm is better, despite the fact he had to put his foot down there in the whoop section to regain balance. But he's taking on his teammate Doug Henry in the second qualifying heat. A nice hop, skip, and a jump, takes the corner, and moves into third place.
3 guys going for 2 spots. No surprise the 2 spots go to the factory. Hondas.
Jeremy McGrath, the fastest qualifier, having fun with the crowd with a little knack-knack action here in qualifying. Should the fastest qualifier also win the main event, the Silver Bullet Award, it's $1,000. Jeremy's already won $6,000 this year. If the fastest qualifier does not win the main event, well, it just builds up each week. Jeremy could win $4,000 additional if he wins the main tonight.
Nothing like money to motivate a young kid wanting to be a big-time Supercross star. I think he qualifies on that count, and he's certainly not short on money.
McGrath, Craig Stanton, and Henry going directly to the main event. Our Jerry Bernardo caught up with Jeremy McGrath.
All right, Jeremy, whole shot. Were you surprised when Craig snuck by you?
Yeah, actually, I was a little surprised. You know, I made a little mistake, and he got on the inside of me there. And, you know, I just sat back and kind of watched him a little bit, and then I made my move. I feel pretty good today, and I think I was pretty confident that I could pass him.
Okay, what about the main?
The main's looking good. The track's getting really slick, and, you know, it's going to take a consistent 20 laps, and I think I have it tonight.
All right, thank you, Supercross sensation.
Thanks a lot.
When we return to Texas Stadium, number 3, Mike Kudrowski and others will participate in the semifinals as they try to qualify for the main. First semifinal round for the 250 bikes, and it's Mike Kudrowski, who should not have too much trouble in qualifying for the main event in this one. He does have some quick riders like Jeff Matasevich and Denny Stevenson.
He's got a great starting spot right there next to the start shack. We'll see how the whole shot goes for Mike as we check out the highlights here. I don't think he's going to be the first one there, is he?
He gets the whole shot right in front of Chicken.
Great start for Kudrowski. I thought he was going to get beat to the corner, but kept the gas on a little longer, a little harder, brake late, and he is gone out front.
It wasn't that Mike Kudrowski made a mistake or wasn't fast in the qualifying heat. He just got caught in a pile-up in the first turn.
Denny Stevenson, Mike Chamberlain, and Todd DeHoop run 3, 4, 5, and those are the transfer spots to the semifinal. So these guys may shuffle positions among them, but the key point is that they all have a chance to go to the main event.
This is one of the better performances for 95 Mike Chamberlain, who's had trouble qualifying last week. He kicks it out there like he's riding a bucking bronco. But Chamberlain has not run in a main event since San Diego.
Managed to stay on top of it there. It may not have been pretty, but it was effective. He got in front of Stevenson and stays in front of Stevenson, and now DeHoop goes to work on him as well.
We're about 30 minutes late in this qualifying day because some bees fell out of the public address system and came down on the track. They had to call a beekeeper to come in and straighten out the situation.
Guess those bees weren't ready to rock and roll when I cranked up the music this morning, eh?
Mike Kudrowski wins the semi easily, and right behind him is Jeff Chicken Matasevich, and a fine ride by number 95 Mike Chamberlain.
All alone to come home third. That is a good performance for Chamberlain. Nice to see him back in the main event. A great ride for Kudrowski.
Kudrowski, Matasevich, Chamberlain, Stevenson, and DeHoop going to the main event. Jerry Bernardo talked with MK.
Mike, you must feel a little better out there taking that win just then.
Yeah, you know, in my heat race, I went down the first turn, and, yeah, I wasn't really riding aggressive. I wasn't tracking the track, and I didn't do a lot of the jumps. So the semi kind of gave me a chance to be out front, you know, feel how it is to be out front and do all the jumps. And I rode a perfect race there, so that's what I'm looking for in the main event.
Any changes in the track since it's been ridden a little bit?
I think they graded the first turn a little bit, so you can go in there a little bit harder. It's not slippery.
How about a prediction for the main for you?
I'll be up there.
That's what we like to hear. Good job.
Thanks.
Second semifinal just underway in our highlights of action in the 250 semis, and it's Jimmy Gaddis, a former 125 West winner back in 1993, losing the lead to Larry Ward.
Ward trying to regain the form that made him so solid early in the season. He's had a couple of podium finishes this year.
Palmer, number 12, Karsten, number 40. They are in 4th and 5th. Very important position as Buddy Atnez is in front of them in 3rd. There's Karsten up on the hay bale. Keyhole, number 15, taking advantage of the situation.
Taking advantage indeed. That drops Karsten out of the transfer position and gives 5th spot to Kehoe.
Buddy Antonez, number 50, put the challenge to Jimmy Gaddis.
Gaddis doesn't look real strong to me, and that would make sense. He's been hurt since Indianapolis.
tore the muscles attached to his sternum. Hurts just to think about it. This is his first race back, and he's doing pretty well, but I don't think he's up to speed yet.
Jimmy, after winning the 125 West in '93, very successful in the Arena Cross Series earlier this year before rejoining the Supercross circuit. 44, taking the lead back against Buddy Antunez. As out in front is this man, Larry Ward, saluting the audience.
Long gone, as they say. Great ride for Ward. He was solid from the get-go.
Right behind Larry Ward was number 44, an impressive ride for Jimmy Gaddis, and then number 50, Antunez, to be followed by Palmer, and then Mike Fisher beating Keyhole out for that final transfer spot. 2 podium appearances this year, Larry Ward.
Larry, we're just going to make it quick. Looked like you had some serious confidence going out there. I think you started the clickers on about the 3rd lap.
Yeah, I do. My bike's running exceptionally well tonight. It's a little bit hard pack, and for some reason I'm hooking up. It's a great feeling. You know, it's really slick, and that Yamaha is getting the power to the ground.
See the crowd get all on their feet for that last triple jump?
Yeah, the faces of the jumps are a little slick. I wanted to whip it for them hard. I don't know what it looked like, but it's fun, you know, that Yamaha out front. It's all we want, so I was having fun.
Maybe we'll see one of those patented number 11 early season hole shots.
Yeah, I need that hole shot. I've been getting good starts. I'll be happy with another top 5 finish. You know, I'm right there in the points battle. I'm the top privateer by a long ways, and it's possible for me to be in the top 5, so I'm going to keep that Nolene Yamaha right up to the front.
Okay, and next week, come over to my house and I'll cook some pasta.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
And 2 last chance qualifiers also getting into the main. Eric Keyhole coming back to win the last chance qualifying round, followed by Michael Jones. Jones failing to qualify in the last couple of races. He's in the main. We'll be back with the future superstars of Supercross, the 125cc action after these words. It's another 125 East versus West rivalry, but this man, number 17, Ezra Lusk, is trying to nail down a championship in the process.
Eastern Region title up for grabs. Here's the guy he's got to beat, his teammate, Jimmy Button. This is the championship Lusk was supposed to win in 1992 and didn't. Tried again in 93 and didn't. Now gets his last shot at it.
Ezra Lusk with a 15-point lead needs at least an 11th place finish to win the title. Is the pressure on?
Pretty much. You know, they always say the first championship is always the hardest, and it definitely has been hard the last few races. I've been making a lot of mistakes the last couple races, not big ones. I've still been finishing on the podium, but from what I did at the beginning of the year and now, it's a big difference. But I'm just going to try to go out there, you know, and ride smooth and smart. I know I'm not going back to my old self, crashing a lot like I did last year, because I'm still got that thing in my head, you know, ride smooth, smart, and everything will work out. So nothing's changed as far as that goes. I'm just going to try to keep her on 2 wheels and not worry about anything else but the track, because that's what usually bites you.
I feel good, really good here tonight, so I'm just looking to go out, get a good start, come away with the win, and you know, something happens to Ezra that'll benefit me, that'll be good, but you know, I'm not wishing any harm on anyone. You know, we're all friends, we're all out here to race, win races, and just put on a good show for all the people that come out. So I'm just looking to go have a good night, and you know, if I come away with the championship, that'll be great.
Number 17, Ezra Lusk, 4 straight wins to open the season and won 5 out of the first 6 races, trying to nail down the championship as the East versus the West takes place for the 3rd time this year. Huffman won 1 for the West in Minneapolis. Ezra took the race in Houston.
It puts additional pressure on the 2 guys racing for the Eastern Championship. Of course, the Western Regional guys have 3 races left. So will they play a spoiler's role here tonight? I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Damon Huffman do exactly that.
Jimmy Button, number 34, just near the shack as we hit the end of the line. And the green flag, the gate drops, Ezra Lusk in the middle. Chad Pedersen from the outside. It's Pedersen with the hole shot. Lusk inside, Brown on the outside, and going down, Donald Upton. No one behind him, though, as the pack has taken off.
Not a great way to start your evening of Supercross competition. How about Brown? He has really come to life in the last couple of races, moves around Pedersen, takes the lead.
Ezra Lusk, though, is looking pretty hot as he bangs bikes with Button in the back, and they go over the difficult whoop section. Brown still in the lead. Pedersen in second. Pedersen trying to cut to the inside, but it's Brown holding on to the lead here for the first lap.
Button took a chance Ezra would not take. As a result, number 34 is into third, and Lusk has gone from second to fourth. He's in no danger in terms of the championship, but he's definitely going the wrong way at the end of lap 1.
Behind Pedersen and Brown, we've got Lusk, Button, and John Dowd. Lusk and Button on the Suzukis.
Got to wonder what Ezra's going to try to do here. Will he go up and try to win this race? Will he be content to cruise and protect the points and claim the championship? I definitely wouldn't want to get up there and mix it up with Button, because he's a pretty highly motivated young man right now.
Pedersen, number 51, still in front of Jimmy Button. Button, all he can do is try to go out a winner, really, as Ezra is in good position to hold at least an 11th-spot finish.
Unless Lusk crashes, the championship is his. Look at Button.
Pushes Chad Pedersen off the track. Chad said, wait a minute, what's going on here?
This is exactly why Lusk doesn't want to mess with Button. Jimmy moves up. Very aggressive block pass sends Pedersen through the hay bales. He'll be unhappy about that.
Meanwhile, Robbie Raynard is giving Ezra Lusk a pretty good tussle here. Number 33, Raynard, in his first full year in 125 Supercross. Showing quickness, but he's got to stay on the track to get some points. Ezra has a good battle, retaking the position, and then in the whoops, it's Raynard. Oh, Raynard going down. Hit hard on that left hand.
That's the wrist he's had problems with before. You saw him put it out to brace his fall, and I think he's hurt it again. Take another look at how this happened. He gets his left foot off the foot peg, goes out of control, loses the front. Watch him reach down right there, and took the full weight on the wrist that had already been broken once before. That is not a good sign for young Robbie Raynard, the teenage sensation. He's holding it. He's hurt it.
Raynard has showed promise with the second and third this year, but has had trouble with the injuries. Here's Mike Brown, our leader, with Button right there. Brown goes down in the corner. Button very alertly gets up and gets around him. Lusk got caught up in the action, along with James Dobb.
We'll take another look at that. I thought he had that corner pretty well dialed, but he apparently tried to cut her too short. You've heard several guys talk about how slick it is. The front end didn't stick, slid to the bales, and Button just about went on his head trying to avoid it.
So Jimmy Button, number 34, is right where he wants to be. Out in front of the pack.
Well, Button made one pass happen with the aggression on Pedersen, and then the other one came to him when Brown just bailed off. Here's the race.
Second, third, and fourth. Dobb is 30. Ryan Hughes, 22. And getting into the act for the first time is Damon Huffman, the points leader out west.
If Ezra Lusk thought he had trouble before, he's got serious trouble now, because none of these guys will cut him any slack.
We'll be back with more 125 action in a moment. Come after these words.
AMA Supercross.
125 main event action, Texas Stadium. Ryan Hughes, Never Say Die, in fourth, number 22. And it's a good battle for second, third, and fourth. Ezra Lusk, along with James Dobb. Dobb originally from England, and Ezra, trying to nail down the title, looks back to find out where he is.
You bet he's looking back. He's concerned about the three guys behind him. Ezra's mind doesn't work this way, but in the big picture, he'd be better off following those guys than leading them, because if those three decide they're going to go around Ezra, that's the one thing that could torpedo his championship if he ends up on the ground. And I guarantee you, James Dobb doesn't care anything about Ezra Lusk's championship. He wants to put his season back together.
Dobb, it's his finest race of the year as we take a brief look at Ryan Hughes. Here's Ezra Lusk, and Dobb makes his move inside. Ezra looks back to see where Damon Huffman is.
He let him go. He moved over, out of the way. I said Ezra's mind doesn't work that way. It looks to me like Ezra's mind's working exactly that way. If he's going to do it, he better not be tentative about it. He ought to drive it over there by a hay bale, park it, let him go by, then get back into the middle of it. He's gotten in trouble before by being tentative, and he's fallen off a couple times. So it's a tough spot. You either race or you don't, and I think he's kind of stuck in the cracks.
Well, Jimmy Button has taken advantage of all this infighting for a big lead as we look back in the pack. It's Dobb in second place, Huffman and Lusk wheel to wheel there for third.
Let's see if Huffman tries to shove it in on Lusk. Oh,
Ryan Hughes got a piece of it. That's dangerous.
Hughes dove underneath and made some contact with Huffman, but did not get to Lusk, and now Ezra gets maybe a couple of bike lengths away. Again, Hughes is a charger. He's got the Western Regional Championship in his mind. The guy he's got to be concerned about is Damon Huffman. Again, he has no reason to worry about Ezra Lusk's problems.
Dobb, Lusk, Ryan Hughes. And then Damon Huffman. Huffman had such a strong and near-perfect race in Minneapolis. I'm surprised he hasn't made a better charge at this point. We'll be back with more 125 action from Texas Stadium. Near the end of the 125s, Ezra Lusk trying to nail down the East Division Championship. Damon Huffman, the Western leader, you see him there, number 20, trying to move up the ladder. Ryan Hughes goes down, and that was a dangerous move for Ezra Lusk, in fact.
Take another look at this. Ezra is up high, arcing down off the bales, cuts across Hughes' front wheel. Hughes was trying to get into position to make the block pass and wasn't quite there. Ryan paid the price, but again, it's a near miss for Ezra Lusk, who's having a harrowing main event here.
Here comes Damon Huffman, number 20. Ezra giving way.
Let him go, Ezra. Let him go. Nobody's going to remember if you get fourth tonight. Everybody's going to remember if you're the champion.
Coming up on the lappers, it's James Dobb, who holds on to second place despite the charge by Damon Huffman.
Huffman's on a mission now. He really wants to get around Dodd because that's one of the guys he's battling for the championship. James is fifth in the points coming into this race, a distant fifth. We remember the end of last year when he just burst upon the scene here in the States, brought his GP experience to American Supercross and did very well.
Jimmy Button has the lead and has had the entire race and has a sizable one right now as Dobb and Huffman battling for second. Lusk putting his nose into it. What's he doing there?
Well, he's not being tentative anymore, is he? He just stuffed it in on the inside of Huffman. A perfect block pass, complete with contact, and now he's right back in the thick of it. The difference now is he's charging. He's not second-guessing himself. He's not being tentative. This is better than what he was doing earlier. He's put them both behind him. What a move. What an inconsistency.
Ryan Hughes down again, and he hit hard right on the helmet.
Hughes has had a tough season. He's been on the ground too much. He's a great young rider. He lost his dad early in the year. It's just been a very difficult campaign for Ryan. He's certainly proven his courage this year.
Lusk, Huffman on the final lap. As Jimmy Button is out in front, it is 3 yellow bikes, 1, 2, and 3. Number 20, Huffman has not finished lower than third this year, has 2 wins on the season, plus a second-place finish.
Meanwhile, Ezra Lusk appears to be out of harm's way. He's pulled out 2 or 3 bike lengths now on Huffman. What a weird race for Ezra Lusk.
What a fine way for number 34, Jimmy Button, to go out in his final 125 race with a classy victory, dominating the entire race. Jimmy Button, who has been chasing Ezra Lusk all season long, but had 4 second-place finishes, is nailing down his 3rd victory of the season.
It's been a good year for Button. Clearly, he wanted the championship that Ezra will end up with, but Button rode the bike well. He won races. He closes with a victory. He's a big, tall kid, fits the 250 better, so I think next year when he moves into the big bike class, he's going to have a future. He's a good rider.
Great comeback year for Button, who spent a lot of time on the ground last year and really needed this type of a season. Ezra Lusk looking to his family, his entire family. A lot of friends are here as he nails down the Eastern Division title. It's a dream come true for this young man from Bainbridge, Georgia.
Come true at last. He was 16 years old when he signed on with Suzuki. Again, a lot of people thought he would immediately win the championship. There's Huffman coming up to congratulate him, and Ezra saying, your day is coming. You're going to feel that pressure before you're done.
The 3 Suzukis on top. And look at Mike Brown. He came back from that bad crash to take an 8th. Let's go to Jerry Bernardo and the new champion.
Tell me how it was for you. You were sitting in the back a little bit, did a little bit of peeking. You didn't get up on the middle spot there, but you took the championship.
Yeah, I ran into a couple guys, you know, and I started thinking you better calm down and not get into a little banging fight out there. So I just tried to calm down and try to ride my own race, and everybody just kept running into me and crashing. So, you know, I held up, I held strong, and they couldn't take me out. So I'm happy I rode smooth, and most of all, I bring the championship on for Suzuki.
I was going to say, what was on your mind, this win or the championship?
Well, both really. You know, if I figured if I could get out there on the lead and battle for the win, then the championship I would just forget about. But I really wasn't up there in the lead to begin with, so I had to work my way up and make a couple new friends out there and just ride my own race.
Okay, first championship for you and Ed Longacre. Tell me he's not pumped.
He's pumped. He's a really good mechanic. I couldn't ask for anything better, and I hope he can stick with me through my whole racing career because we work really good together, and and I'm not afraid to tell him anything. He's not afraid to tell me anything. We get along great. I want to thank him. You know, he worked extra hard this year on my practice bikes and everything, and my parents, they helped me out a lot. Fox Racing, first of all, and Scott USA, TTI knee braces, Dunlop tires, Bell helmets, all those guys really helped me out a lot, and I just couldn't have did it this year without them guys.
Ezra Lusk, here's the final point totals. Number 1 in the East with Button, Ferry, Brown, and Chad Pedersen 5th. Over in the West, Huffman takes a 38-point lead, but his rivals have had a pretty tough day of it here today. Let's go to Jimmy Button.
All right, Jimmy, I was talking to Dean before you went out there. I blessed your bike, and I said, hey, that kid's got some race face.
Yeah, you know, I came into this weekend, nothing to lose like last week. Unfortunately, last week I had a problem, but this is my last 125 race, and, you know, I wanted to go out winning the championship, winning tonight. I didn't come away with the championship, but, you know, I got out to a good start, which I haven't been able to do a lot this year, and I showed everyone, you know, kind of what's up. But my Suzuki ran great. I'm disappointed not winning the championship, but, you know, I rode good tonight, and at least I left my 125 career, you know, with the #1 finish. So I'm happy with that, but that black and white #1 plate would have been nice. But my hat goes off to Ezra. He rode consistent all year, didn't have any big mistakes. He made podium every week, and, you know, that's what it takes to win the championship. I had 2 bad weeks, and it, you know, cost me the championship.
A proud moment for Ezra Lusk, but look at the face of Jimmy Button. It tells the story. Damon Huffman leading the West with 3 more races to go. We'll be back with 250 action. Round 12, Texas Stadium, 250 main event as we get set. Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Jeff Stanton. There you see number 6 on the right side is Jeff Emig, along with Lamson as we're getting ready for the green flag. And the gate drops. It's Emig, Stanton, a good break from the gate. They're in the middle. Ward on the outside. McGrath behind Emig. He's praying he doesn't go down. And over the hay bales is Michael Jones. He's got to get out of the way. They're coming back.
Wow. Jones hustling back out of harm's way. Looked like his arm was hurt, but he jumps right back on, fires it up, rejoins the fray.
McGrath 3rd, number 5 Stanton 4th as Emig and Craig right out in front. Emig got the whole shot, but Craig tries for him on the corner.
Jeremy looked like he was going to get the whole shot. He ran a little wide in the first turn. That let the Yamahas, again, get out in front. So now it's the 2 Hondas trying to catch up.
And hallelujah, a good start for Mike Kudrowski, who's behind Stanton, number 3.
Kudrowski running 5th as Michael Craig takes over the lead from Jeff Emig and immediately opens it up, and here comes Jeremy right after him.
McGrath, where he wants to be, out of trouble right now. It's Emig, a little bit of slip there as it's getting slippery. Craig, Emig, McGrath, Stanton, Kudrowski, the order as they head toward more difficult territory. Craig going wide, Emig slipping underneath. Whoa, not much room, but Craig comes through.
Michael Craig with a great start here. Remember, this is the guy who was going to go have shoulder surgery after Charlotte and be out for the rest of the year. Passed on the surgery and has done a great job since.
Certainly likes this harder packed soil now as McGrath goes for Emig and slips inside him. The whoops. Emig, though, not giving up.
Clean, no contact. You always worry when these 2 guys get together. They don't like each other. They crash together. But this time it's all on the up and up as McGrath goes for 2nd.
Kudrowski, number 3 now, making a charge on Stanton. And he cuts inside of number 5 on the turn. Lots of room if you have the right technique on this course.
Kudrowski's going really fast. This evening started badly for him, but he has gathered it back up, won the semifinal to get to the main, got a good start for a change, and he's a contender this evening.
Interesting. Emig backing off of Jeremy McGrath in that corner.
Top 4 pretty tight. I think Emig was just trying to set up for the double jump, and in order to do that, sometimes you got to go slow to go fast. I think that's what Emig was doing right there.
Jeremy McGrath goes putting the heat on number 19, Michael Craig.
And we've seen that before. Craig's led on, 3 different occasions this year and been run down by McGrath and passed on 2 of them. The other occasion, of course, was Tampa, where Craig went on to win the race.
McGrath stalking Craig. In the last race, Craig got rattled with Jeremy breathing down his neck.
Yeah, and he admitted it afterward. He said he looked back, he saw him coming, and he just he knew he was in trouble and fell apart. So will he do that again tonight? The more times you do that, the less time you're likely to crack. That time he certainly didn't crack, and he didn't look back either.
In the battle for 6th and 7th, Doug Henry, Larry Ward, number 11.
And they're not far behind Jeff Stanton, the 5th place man. Chicken Matasevich, on the other hand, is chasing them from 8th. Pretty good race.
And LaRocco, another horrendous start, is in 9th. Out in front, Michael Craig getting the challenge from number 1, Jeremy McGrath. Cuts inside, and McGrath now in the lead.
I think Jeremy figured that out the lap before when he went through there. He had a notion the lap before, figured he could do it anytime, and so he saved it, and there you see Craig making a bobble.
And Emig moves into second place, Craig third, and here comes Mike Kudrowski. Kudrowski is going over the whoops better than anyone, Dave.
And Craig has indeed fallen apart here for the moment when Jeremy went past, just like before.
Yellow flag's waving, red cross flag is out, so no jumping as Cliff Palmer took a hard fall.
Palmer's down in the bottom of those whoop-de-doos, hit his head pretty good.
McGrath leads, Kudrowski the fastest bike on the track. Back to Texas Stadium as we look at the battle between Stanton and LaRocco. LaRocco has moved up considerably from 9th. He is battling now for 5th. Can number 7 pull it off? Yes, he does, getting around Stanton.
Of course he can. He does it every week, Art. He starts about 12th or less, and he works his way back to the front. Mike LaRocco is a passing people kind of a guy.
Dave, he's turning 58-second laps. That is 2 seconds better than Jeremy McGrath, the leader.
Pretty remarkable. To do that in this kind of traffic is very remarkable.
Michael Craig is not that far away in 4th position as LaRocco just blitzing those difficult whoops.
He's got a good line through there, good timing, good rhythm, just kind of skimming the tops of them. That is the key, but it's very hard to do.
Stanton not letting him get too far away as they go through the jump section now. LaRocco, though, has got his plan already set for Craig, I have a feeling, over the finish line jump.
As you watch LaRocco, the thing he does well is just focus on the guy in front of him. Take him one at a time and drive right through him. Don't mess around with anybody. When you get to him, pass him, get on with your business.
And there he's
an example.
Look at the acceleration, too, with LaRocco there once he got the edge on Michael Craig. From 12th now to 4th in 8 laps with still 12 laps to go in this race.
Now, those motorcycles are pretty good. I mean, the Kawasaki's have been tough all year long. We've said repeatedly that if they started the races up where everybody else starts, they'd win every week. Well, maybe not every week. Let's give Jeremy a little credit. But, I mean, the point is it's a good bike.
LaRocco in 4th. Out in front, McGrath, Emig, and Kudrowski are going at it right now. 6 and 3. Emig is number 6. Kudrowski has been riding very smooth on this difficult and slippery track. Cuts inside. MK looking for second. Can't get it this time.
Gee, I thought he had that pulled off, but he didn't quite, so he tries it again in a different section of the racetrack, and this looks like it's going to work.
Kudrowski moving into second place. Emig held him up for quite a while, and Jeremy McGrath has got an edge on him. We'll see if he can pick up his time.
Well, Jeremy's right there in his sight. It's not that big a lead, but based on what we've seen all season, you just don't go run down Jeremy McGrath. That just doesn't happen.
Give you an idea of the speeds that Jeremy McGrath took over first place, running a 1 minute, 1 second lap. They are now turning laps at around 59, 58 seconds, especially when you take into consideration number 7, whose sights right now on number 6, Emig. LaRocco has got the push on. He wants a podium spot.
He didn't have much problem with the last Yamaha team rider that he encountered. Let's see how he'll do with Emig here. Again, LaRocco just doesn't wait for people. He goes by.
Emig looking back. Cuts to the inside. Good move by Jeff Emig.
Same move that Kudrowski attempted, and Emig countered the same way. Then they came to this section, and that was where Kudrowski made the pass. LaRocco is going to not get the job done.
LaRocco, though, not doing anything stupid either and trying to force the action there. He wants to make sure he makes the podium. A big difference from the beginning of the year.
Well, these guys have collided a couple of times this year, haven't they? So they may give each other a little extra room, knowing that neither of them is inclined to back off in a tight situation. It's great to come through the track if you don't want to end up on the ground.
And off the foot peg. LaRocco having difficulty now with the whoops. And Jeff Emig, he's slipping and sliding and giving another break to LaRocco.
Boy, they're on the edge. They each want that spot, and they're both right out there where you kind of skip along and you think maybe you got it under control, but it's never a sure thing.
LaRocco takes the inside move for 3rd place now.
Emig made the last mistake, and the result is LaRocco gets the spot.
McGrath the leader, but look out. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the 250 lane in Texas Stadium. Mike LaRocco trying to put pressure from the 3rd place position. Out in front, Jeremy McGrath, and look at where Mike Kudrowski is. He's picked up a lot of slack. We've got the scene set for a tremendous finish of this race.
I'm very impressed that Kudrowski has caught Jeremy McGrath, the fastest man in Supercross, and maybe the fastest man in Supercross history. Jeremy's been a little tentative, perhaps, a little tight. He just doesn't seem to have quite the perfect rhythm. Kudrowski's got a shot at him, although it is a long shot.
Must be nice to be out in front, and it's not your best ride.
That is a measure of Jeremy's greatness. See how the foot kind of dragged off the foot peg there? His rhythm is off. Kudrowski got him.
Yes. Here comes number 3. Mike Kudrowski into the lead now. It'll be interesting to see what Jeremy tries to do in coming back. This is not an easy track to come back on.
We talked about Lusk's strategy earlier when the championship was on the line. Consider Jeremy's situation here. Do you try to go back and attack him and win this race, or do you just sit on the point lead? Tough call.
Kudrowski always good in the whoops. Jeremy picks up the action, though, is right on his rear tire.
I'll tell you, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting because I think Jeremy will go after him.
That would be his competitive nature. Here's the finish line jump area. White flag, and Jeremy bumps into Mike Kudrowski, sends him wide, regains the lead here on the final lap. Let's see what Kudrowski can do as they come up on the lappers.
For all the runaways that we've seen this year with Jeremy McGrath, we come down to Dallas in a terrific two-man battle in traffic on the last lap. Look out.
Jeremy McGrath in front of Mike Kudrowski. But we've got the whoops to go yet as they both pass Henry, number 8.
Let's hope the lappers stay out of the way. See him getting the blue flag. It's 1 and 3. Those are the two guys you want to worry about. Look at LaRocco. He's caught him.
Kudrowski, though, he gets the line he wants. Kudrowski, he moves in with a slight lead off the whoops, and Jeremy goes flying in toward the mechanics area. Kudrowski had to go into the hay bales. LaRocco has passed the two of them. It will be a Mike LaRocco victory. Incredible finish.
Unbelievable. McGrath went after him. There's LaRocco taking the checkered flag. Jeremy took a huge chance on the last lap and paid the price. He was limping when he got up. I hope he's not hurt.
LaRocco's second victory of the season. Another look at this unbelievable move.
Kudrowski had the fast line. Jeremy tried to use him as a berm. High-sided, hooked his knee. That was ugly. You take a chance with the series championship when you do something like that. He's back on the bike and apparently okay.
And still 3 more races to go. He does not have the championship cinched, that's for sure. Jeremy McGrath taking a calculated risk. This man made the race happen.
33,500 people are on their feet cheering the two guys who laid it all on the line in the last turn of the last lap. Kudrowski came up second.
McGrath a third, Emig fourth, and Larry Ward the top privateer, with Stanton taking a 6th and the Chicken in 7th. Kehoe nailing down to 10th. Well, here's the reaction we were waiting for. It's all smiles as they shake hands. Jerry Bernardo talking with our winner.
That was probably the most exciting finish. You were sitting in the catbird seat, and you ended up on top. How'd it look from your point of view?
It looked good, actually. What happened exactly what I was hoping to happen. I just came back. I came from a long ways back, and I fiddled around with Emig too long, and those guys have a little bit of edge on me that I wasn't quite making up, so I just hung back, and hopefully something happened, and it did.
Yeah, you're making a habit of winning. It's kind of goofy how you ended up there, but you're strong, and you deserve a win. How do you feel about that?
Well, right now, I'll take it any way I can get it, so I'm not going to say sorry or anything.
That's cool. Good job, Mike.
Thanks.
Moving right down the line, I didn't mean to, curse you or anything. You said you were going to be there, and, man, I don't know what the heck was going on, but you tell me.
Yeah, I got up in the second behind Jeremy, and he was riding pretty smooth and pretty fast, and I was just trying to keep consistent. At the end of the race, I knew I'd be stronger, and he made a mistake, didn't jump the triple, and I got by, but maybe I was riding a little too cautious, or he was riding more aggressive, and he got me back, and then through the whoops, I said, I'm either going for it or falling down, And went through it, and I had him, and he just went inside of me and caught my front wheel and just looped his bike out, so, I almost had the win.
That was a spectacular crash. Happened right in front of all the mechanics, and then it was like, everybody was like holding their breath because you were up on top of the jump, and Jeremy was down.
I think I could have pulled off the win if I wouldn't have hit the hay bales, but I hit them and got tied up in those.
Well, you said you were going to be there. Good job, I guess.
Thank you.
Psycho motorcycle racing.
Team Kawasaki. Woo!
Jeremy McGrath leading in the points race by 50 points. The real race is for second with a 1-point advantage for Mike LaRocco.
Okay, Jeremy, a little air of disappointment on your face. You were out there roosting, and then super-duper thrills and chills wipeout. What happened out there?
Yeah, Mike got a little close to me, and you know, I gotta say, it was pretty hot out there, so it's probably winded a little bit, but you know, he was putting good pressure on me. I apologize for running into him, but you know, that's what you got to do to win, and you know, I'm sure he'll do it back to me someday.
We've had a climactic finish right there. You guys totally wiped out in front of everybody in the mechanics, and then it was like, who can scramble to their feet the fastest?
Well, I think he passed me in the whoops, and then I kind of, at the end, I felt that I had a little more drive than him, and that's why I went inside, and you know, he wasn't letting off, and I wasn't going to let off. I wasn't going to give it to him, so I made him earn it.
Still got 50 points in the lead.
You know, I'm sitting in a comfortable lead. It was kind of probably a stupid chance to take, but you know, I want to win every race I can, and you know, do it for Honda.
All right, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Jeremy McGrath, Dave, showing his competitive spirit, but that's got to scare the Honda crew.
Well, it's very, very difficult to race for a championship.